What's up guys, my name is Aaron and I'm a third year medical student from the University of Adelaide. In this video today we will be discussing what to do and what not to do in your medical school interviews. So let's get started. So, beginning with tip number 1, what you need to avoid saying when asked why you want to be a doctor is the following things: high pay, prestige, job security, or the fact that your parents are doctors. Although pay and job security are important factors in determining which career you want to go into, being a doctor is a profession where selflessness is the main attribute, and all the points I just gave are all selfish in nature, so they're going against what doctors stand for. So the medical interviewers want to find out what motivates you, and in that way find out whether you'd be a good medical student and eventually a good doctor. So better reasons for becoming a doctor could be that you want to be involved in medical research in the future, or you enjoy learning about health and science and how the different organ systems interact with one another in the human body. So whatever reason you give for this question, just make sure it's a genuine response. So studying to become a doctor takes a really long time, but if you're passionate about what you do, this long duration of time will pass pretty quickly. So tip number 2, when preparing for your interview, try not to memorize your notes word for word. If you do this and then come into the interview, it will sound like you're following a script, and let me tell you, the interviewers will pick up on it almost immediately and potentially ask you follow-up questions, which, if you haven't prepared for them, will throw you off your flow, or ruin your flow, should I say, and it'll make the interview a lot more difficult. A better idea would be to become familiar with your motivations, your strengths, your weaknesses, your accomplishments and your disappointments, as well as any important decisions that you've made in the past. This will give you sort of a general idea on what sort of answers you want to give the interviewers, and it will enable you to answer a broader range of questions rather than very specific questions that you practice for and may not be in the actual interview. And overall, if you just have a good understanding of yourself and don't try and force it, the interview will feel more like a conversation rather than an interrogation. So tip number 3, so a really common question across most medical schools is, tell us a bit about yourself. So this question gives you the opportunity to let yourself shine and give the interviewer a unique answer to this question, which is different from the hundreds of other applicants they've listened to previously. So for example, in my interview, I talked about how I own some beehives and harvest my own honey now and then. And the moment I said that, I could tell that the interest of the interviewers had been captured. So it was a lot different to what many other applicants had said, and as a result, they were more engaged in what I had to say. So overall, there's no right or wrong answers to this question, and it basically enables you to inject a little bit of your personality into the interview from the start, and if you do it well, it will set you up for the rest of the interview, because often this question is one of the first questions that they ask. So tip number 4 is that you want to minimize talking about any past academic achievements. So although it may be a significant accomplishment for you, I can pretty much guarantee that every other applicant is also good at school and also good at study. So if you give this sort of response, it's something that the interviewer has heard pretty much 100 times already. So what you need to do is to try and give an accomplishment that has nothing to do with work or study. So for example, with my interview, I talked about how I got my first job as a sports writer at the local newspaper, the Bunyip. So what this does is that it enables you to be unique, and also shows the interviewer that there's different aspects of you that are not related to school or study. So tip number 5 is to be well presented. So this includes having formal clothing, making eye contact when you're speaking with the interviewer, and potentially using hand movements to engage the interviewer. You can also smile once in a while, but not like this though. That's just weird. Please don't make it weird. Anyway, this enables you to make a good impression before you even begin speaking in the interview. So that concludes the video. If you found it helpful, liking and subscribing to the channel for more medical student content would be greatly appreciated, and it will probably be mutually beneficial for the both of us. So I'll see you guys around.